Hey folks, Jonathan here. Gonna do a quick video on the lines on this bed, and I figured I'd go on and explain to some people, because I know some people don't even mess with rollbacks, and I understand that completely. Your wires that's in your light bar, your hoses on your winch, they run back usually back a channel, or they're strapped to the bottom of the bed all the way back to around this area, and then they loop and they come into the control valve, and of course your wires go on up the truck. When you roll this bed back, them hoses have to go somewhere. Now on the rollbacks I've built, I bend a tray at the bottom and a tray at the top, and the trays sort of fit together. The top tray would be smaller than the bottom, and I keep them inside that tray the whole way. Now this is a major issue on rollbacks. Some of them come with that plastic chain link that covers the lines and the hose. Do a lot of different things. My particular truck, my red one that I built, I put 3 hydraulic hoses on it. One hydraulic hose has my wires running through it to strengthen them up, so I wouldn't have to worry about them getting broke. So there's a million different ways to do it. I think I've got fire hose on one of them, and it might, well, matter of fact, I think I got fire hose over it too. Just went to the local fire department, and you know, of course I know them anyway from towing, but they just gave me an old fire hose that wasn't any good, and actually gave me a couple of them, so they're not hard to get from them. They used to, he told me they used to rebuild the fire hoses. They would reuse the ends, but they quit doing that because, you know, stuff's so cheap now, and I think they probably got away from brass and stuff, you know, that was expensive. So anyway, hopefully it's not too dark. I've waited a little bit too long here, but we're gonna try and see if we can show somebody where these run. So for starters, just looking up under. Okay, I'm looking and seeing the hoses folded right here. Okay, so they're folded here, and you can see them coming out right here. This is directly where our controls are. This is where our rods run over to control. So that's where they fold at. And what I'm going to do is get in the truck, and I'm going to start it up, and I'm going to roll this bed back, and we're going to see if we can see where they're mounted and all that good stuff here. And this is a Jerrdan Wrangler, for anybody that's wondering. As you can see, Wrangler. And I'm guessing this is probably a 93 or 94 model bed, because I think that truck was a 94 that I took this off of. So let me get it started up and I'll roll it back. Okay, what we'll do is just roll it all the way back. Here's my scraping now. Okay. See the lines rolling? Over top of the back bar, continuing to roll, go in behind here. Alright, and that's it as far as they go. Now, as for where they mount, we'll go back to the other side here. Matter of fact, I'm going to shut the truck off. We'll just leave it like this. Okay. Let's get up under and take a look. Right there is where they mount, and these are in what looks like fire hose. So they're mounted here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a measurement from the back of the bed, and I'll do a measurement from the front of the bed. But as you can see, the last mount on these lines is about 9 inches beyond the rear bar of the rollback, where the tail lights and everything mount. And then if you go up about what looks like about 2 foot, or maybe a little more, there's another clamp holding the lines. And of course I'm sure there's more up through there, but they would be clamped the entire way. But that's the main one. That's the main one, is this rear one, because that's where it's going to roll at. And I mean, I don't necessarily like this. What I'll probably do when I go ahead and build the other bed is build a track that these lines would sit in, because Well, you can see that's probably what's tore this light up, and you can see it's getting into there. But if you build a track out of, you know, let's just say 16 gauge or maybe a little thicker, you know, just something that will catch them in there. You don't want them to get tangled, that's one thing for sure. But I mean, I've had trouble with lines too, just like any, you know, everybody has. I think that's had a rollback, especially anything a little bit old. But that's it. That's how they go. And like I said, I'll get the measurement here. And for anybody, you know, that I was talking about before, if you take these lines loose, actually, you could go up there and take them loose from the bottom of the bed, or you could take them loose from the control valve end and the wires, and pull this one nut off this cylinder, and this bed will slide completely off. Now, some of them won't clear the cylinder if the winch is still on them. So sometimes you got to take the winch off, but getting this bed off is no problem whatsoever. And also, someone said something about the rails on this truck. I don't know if you can see it or not, but these rails really are not worn whatsoever. I mean, very, very little in comparison to most of them of this age. You know, they're actually pretty thick. So just because you see shiny there, don't mean they're wore out. This thing's been sitting a long time and hasn't been nothing put on it. Now, this has got wear pads in it. I'm not sure what to put on the rails on aluminum. I'll do some checking and see if you know, anything, because sometimes putting something on it don't help it. It hurts it. You know, lets the sand stay. Let me get these measurements here of where these lines mount. Okay, just figure that the lines mount. This is a 19-foot bed. They mount 9 foot from the back and 10 foot from the front, and that's where they curl around at. So anyway, I hope that helps, and I think that's about it. But like I said, I hope that helps you out, and at least gives you an idea where the lines are. And I don't know if it'll help you any to give you the measurement. Okay, I just got you a measurement from the outside, from the center of the cylinder. That way you wouldn't have to worry about width, but it's about 8 inches over. And as you can see, these are cocked a little bit crooked. So, you know, this is, like I said, I'll be probably putting a tray under these and seeing if we can't get them running in that tray. And anyway, all right, appreciate you watching, and till next time. Bye.